Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
So much of the work I do here in this channel is teaching people how to paint things that look as close as possible to their original counterparts. Replicating existing figures is a great skill to have, but I kind of reached my breaking point after I painted my 20th squad of Axe Grinders this year alone. So I decided to mix things up a bit and work on developing some unique color schemes for some HeroScape units. HeroScape has a history of using alternate color schemes as exclusives, with different mechanical powers and utility. Today I won't be focusing on that as much, but rather just really designing fun character ults. Anyone that plays fighting games knows that a good character ult should have some kind of story or some kind of reference associated with it. You know, something that really is unique to the character. I tried my hardest to avoid a paint the unit black mentality, because that's honestly the easiest way to make any unit look cool. Honestly, this video is just more of a breather from what I normally do. It is meant to inspire you to use these ideas to change your paints up a bit, to think differently, and to stand out in a tournament or home game. Also, if you're particular about having the unit match the card and want to make some of your own, check the link in the description below. I uploaded the cards I made for this video. So without further ado, let's check out 10 alt color concepts for HeroScape. So the Templar Cavalry are some of the coolest looking units in the game, but honestly they do take a long time to paint. You know, all the details on the figure, the white, the silver, and the decals, it all just makes the process quite tedious. If you're looking to get some cool units fast, then may I recommend Phantom Cavalry. The redesign goes in a more ghostly direction, which gives these knights a total spectral makeover. Obviously inspired by the Phantom Knights, they share similar kind of translucent properties. I actually printed these on clear green resin and worked on adding some fun little flourishes like the decals to them. I don't know how the decals show through, but honestly I just kind of thought the contrast of red and green really kind of makes them pop. If you choose to go with this redesign, you'll be going from saying Deus Vult to Deus Cult in no time. That's a lame joke, but it's the best I could come with at this time. The Roman Legionnaires are a great classic unit, and I absolutely adore both their physical and mechanical design. But with this redesign, you'll stand out and even be able to reference some of ancient Roman culture. I designed these units off the Praetorian Guards, which were a powerful and elite military force designed to protect or even dispose of emperors. They were regal, important, and dangerous, and I try to incorporate these elements into the design. Maybe it's just because I like working with the color purple, or I just know too much about Roman history, but I do really enjoy this redesign. Honestly, I would love to see some more official Praetorian in the future. I would be remiss not to mention the Lizard Folk's alternate design schemes. This is a popular and common alt scheme I've seen in the community. With so many dragons, there are so many different choices, and you can model them off any of the classic Scape dragons like Brax's, Nilfheim, Zelreg, etc. Or perhaps you could choose to recolor the green scales to represent the upcoming Dryan dragon Zenithrax. If you're feeling especially bold, you could even design it to represent various existing or unreleased dragons from the customs community. With the future of potential new dragons wide and open, the options for the quote green scales may always be changing. Runa's new scheme I'm pitching actually comes from HeroScape's own personal history. In some original HeroScape prototype boosters, Runa had a drastically different color scheme. I thought it would be a nice homage to HeroScape's beginning to kind of change her initial Udgar stylings to more of this retro design. I do like the look of the bronze wings and pale skin of Proto Runa, and coincidentally, this scheme does bear a lot of similarities with AOA's Miserex. It's interesting to see this initial concept carried on through time. Now with all this said, I won't say that this recoloring will make Runa more viable, but it certainly couldn't hurt her chances either. For all you Runa mains out there, perhaps now is your time to shine. The Granite Guardians are themselves an alternate color scheme for the Obsidian Guards, and kind of like how Pokemon keeps on making different versions of Meowth, I thought the same would be fun for these guys. The Gemstone Guardians, as I call them, were fun to design and really do add a lot of color to the game's table. I chose Emerald, Amethyst, and Sapphire, and I tried to incorporate all the gemstones for some unity of the squad. Honestly, there's not a lot of lore I have for these guys, but instead of a drab gray, you can now rock some righteous gemstones. I'm going to be honest, the Omnicron repulsors never felt like a Jandar Soulborg to me. But these guys always kind of gave the vibe that they should be tailing behind a large Deathwalker. Now, if you're like me and tired of the goody two-shoe little robot Boy Scouts, you can instead paint them as the bad boys they're always meant to be. This is one of my personal favorite recolorings, and now I find these guys a little less repulsive. I love the Vipers. They're my favorite HeroScape species, and if you stick around in this channel long enough, you're going to go real tired of me talking about Vipers. I just think they're neat. The Armachs have long struggled with lack of bonding options for their Olar Warlord bonding, but thankfully the customs community provided an awesome unit for these danger noodles to tag along with. These guys are crafted to look like the C3V Azurite Warlord, which in turn is a model from World of Warcraft. I really do like the blue on the Vipers, and the multicolored banded shoulder plates really make them pop. The color scheme will really stand out in an Olar army and give you a brief reprieve from the endless seas of green colored units. D&D units are in an interesting place in the HeroScape lore, kind of existing in a sort of shrouded limbo concerning its canonicity. One such open-ended point is that currently there is an Underdark in Valhalla, but not the D&D Underdark, but an entirely different one that bears the same name. Despite this narrative oddity, I do think Underdark spiders sound pretty cool. This colorization was heavily inspired by the Drow figures present in the D&D releases, emphasizing blacks, whites, and purples. These Underdark spiders feel right at home on dungeon tiles with a crazy arachnomancer, thus empowering them even further. The Mesodemons look like crustaceans, so I painted them red. There's no deeper lore, no overarching narrative, no fringe reference. Listen, sometimes you don't need esoteric wisdom, deep cuts, or intricate planning. Sometimes you just want to paint a couple crabs and not have to explain yourself along the way. And that's okay. The Fin Hydra has a lot of interesting concepts to mess around with. I toyed with the idea of making a reference to some of the other D&D beasts like fire salamanders or remorazes, but the multiple heads clearly spelled out one iconic D&D creature, the dread dragon goddess herself, Tiamat. Tiamat has multiple heads bearing the color of all chromatic dragons, and she is generally not a nice creature to meet.
Look! There! It's Tiamat the dragon!
Admittedly, the Fin Hydra is a head short, but it was still fun, if not a bit challenging, to blend the colors together on the model. I chose to leave out green, as that was on the original Fin Hydra, but I did work on implementing the other chromatic color designs into this color scheme. The Tiamat Hydra further emphasizes that this creature is definitely not an Olar sun, reptilian green, but rather is an amalgamation of terror, evil, and a really nasty attitude. There you have it, 10 redesigns for classic Scape figures. This was honestly a lot of fun, just kind of breaking out of the box I was in and designing the story and colorization for all of these. Let me know which one was your favorite, or if you have any other fun ideas or alternate color schemes you'd like to see. Maybe someday I'll make a sequel to this video, include some more units. And with all that said, I'm the HeroScaper. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Scape content, and most importantly, think differently.